everybody. So Jazz and I decided to host this call. Jazz is basically our sideline, an amazing woman who I'm actually meeting first face to face, first time, right? Because I seen you in pictures, but never really on a call.
That's so funny. You're right.
Yeah. So thank you for taking the time to join us in this sideline of a team. And I don't know, do you have like something already set to like?
No, I figured just based off what you told me, I was just gonna like give a little background as far as like what I do and then how I got involved in the company, and then we could do like a Q&A type of thing if that works.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, are we ready to go ahead and get started then?
Yes, let me just mute everybody and then I'll unmute you.
Okay.
And I'll mute myself. Take it away.
Thanks. All right. Hey, everybody. My name's Jazz. I live in Raleigh, North Carolina. So I know there are a couple of people on this team that are in North Carolina, or at least Yen's in Charlotte. So that's where I'm from. Hopefully I'll get to meet her soon. But yeah, so I joined this business back in June, very end of June 2018. And I basically just ran with it. Oh, hey. I see you there. So I basically just ran with the opportunity right away. How I found out about the company, I guess, my friend Yasmin Mormon, I don't know if any of you have seen her on Instagram. We went to college together, so I had seen some of her posts, but wasn't really sure exactly what she was doing. But the girls that she was working with seemed really cool, and they talked about making money. So I was like, all right, sign me up. I literally messaged her, and I was like, what are you doing? She told me, and I said, literally sign me up, like within 3 messages exchanges. It was pretty quick. I hit MMP that following July because I joined like on the last day of the month. So I hit MMP July that year, and then kept ranking up. By the end of my 5th month, I hit MMB, and I was actually stuck at MMB for an entire year. Finally ranked up to AMM this past November. I also went to Cancun in November with the company on that free trip called Passport, which is now going to Dominican Republic this year. I've been to My Nations a couple of times, and I've gotten to meet several of the girls on the team just because I travel for my full-time job, which I forgot to mention that. So I work full-time too. I'm a project manager at a marketing research firm. I travel a lot for work, and so I've been able to meet up with some of the girls on the team when I'm out and about, so that's always been really nice. And yeah, I think that's about it. So I guess if you guys, Sam, if you have questions like right off the bat, you can go for it, and if not, then everybody can just like ask me questions.
Yeah, so if you guys have any questions, you can just unmute and ask. I guess I can start off with, so I shared with the whole team your link, the before and after pictures, and I've gotten from a lot of the girls that they wish they can have more.
Yeah. I agree. So I'm not gonna lie, that link was probably created a year ago maybe, and honestly probably 95% of the girls that are in that album are not working the business anymore, so that's probably why the album died. But that is something that we should probably start back, and maybe even, I know we have like the shared albums within our team, like maybe just start a new one and throw those, pictures and stuff in there, and then I can throw in some of the ones from like my family that I've gotten, and just start all over, create a whole new one that we can share.
Yeah, and more of you too, because I think we only have like that one.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I do have a bunch.
Stephanie, do you have any questions? Or even Ciara, any of the ladies, you guys could just unmute and then just ask Jazz any questions regarding anything that you just felt like you needed to ask.
So I just want to say thank you for hosting the call. I appreciate you doing this for us. I just wanted to ask like how you got out of your shell and your family and friends believed you and the products, because I think that's the most trouble that a lot of women of color, even though we're all women of color, are having this issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a big thing for me. So I personally, I wasn't afraid to try the products or anything like that. this is embarrassing to say, but I was literally using like Pantene, Tresemme, like whatever was cheap at the drugstore. I would just get.
I think we all have been there.
So I hate to say it now, but like I was not the type that was like, oh, I can only use these type of products. And also I forgot to mention too, I was using a relaxer when I first started using the products. So basically like I started learning more about the chemicals and things that go into relaxers and all these other products I was using, and I decided to stop getting them. So I got my last relaxer like a week before I started using the products. And then I was basically transitioning for the past like year and a half. So I just cut out the last bit of my relaxer since we've been in quarantine, because I was like, well, now's a good time to see if my hair looks crazy.
I love it.
Yeah, so people were like, okay, well, maybe it works for her because her hair's relaxed, which is also like the most annoying thing, because obviously the products work for all hair types. And I was telling them, you know, I'm transitioning and it still works, but I had to like prove myself to everyone else too. So one big thing I guess that helped is showing my testimonial, like telling my story, showing me actually using the products, my before and after pictures. When I first started, since I was relaxing my hair, I was straightening it all the time, and I would wear the same t-shirt for all of my before and after pictures so that people, and it had like a design on the back so people could see my hair getting longer and longer. And so I got a lot of people to reach out to me because of that, because I think the before and after pictures, sometimes it's hard to tell whether or not your hair has grown in the pictures based on where you're standing and lighting and all this stuff. So like having the same shirt on where you could see my hair getting longer really helped. And then my sister was my first customer, and she loved the products, and still my mom was skeptical. So my mom didn't try the products till like 2 or 3 months later. And it was because she saw how fast my hair was growing. So I think just the more you use the products and you talk about them and you stay consistent, then people are going to be like, oh, okay, this must be legit if she's still talking about it. Another thing is, once people try the products, we say this about everyone, like once they try the products, chances are they're going to want them. So get the products in as many people's hands or hair as possible. So right now I know it's a little tough, but obviously wine and wash parties are really good. Or what I used to do was do borrow bags. So I have a ton of products, and I would just put in whatever products for their hair type in a bag, let them borrow it for a few days or a week or whatever. And then I have pretty much 100% success rate with that, letting them borrow it for a few days.
I like that idea.
Yeah, that was the best, because you could give them like styling products. One thing though, some people will try to keep your products.
I was gonna ask you,
Yeah.
they not give it back.
Yeah, so I mean, I've had to like hunt some people down. But that was a really good idea. Like literally, I've never had anyone that I gave products to, like let them borrow for a week, that has said no to me. They've all signed up as a VIP. Something else is like select a couple of your family members or friends or whatever that are like pretty vocal, outgoing, social, that would tell people about it if they tried it and loved it, and just let them borrow it, or give them products. You know, like give them a shampoo and conditioner and just say like, hey, let me know your thoughts. Because my family, like once my mom started using them, she started telling all her friends, and then we got my aunt on them, and now she tells all the other family members that it actually works and it's legit. So you kind of just need other spokespeople to vouch for you, and the easiest way is just to like either give them products or let them borrow it for a little while.
So what products do you use for your hair? So like which shampoo, conditioner, and like mask, and how do you like style your hair? What do you use?
Yeah, so I was thinking about that because I literally just washed my hair, and everyone keeps asking me to make a video about products for like black hair types. And so I always recommend Renew shampoo no matter what, because we need the most moisture, and that has the most oil in it out of all the shampoos. I'll get to the Super Nourish line a little bit. So Renew shampoo, and then if they're frizzy, so I guess the questions that I ask, I don't send the normal questions like, do you have oily roots? Like, is it thick or thin? Anything like that. Like, I don't do that for our hair type. So main questions I ask is, how often do you wash? Are you frizzy? And are you natural or relaxed? Like, do you relax your hair? Is it natural? So I guess I can go over like the reasons. So if they're natural versus relaxed, I have found that the Super Nourish line did not work well with my relaxed hair. When I was transitioning and I tried to use it, it like made it super frizzy, and it's designed for naturally curly hair, so I think that makes sense. But I was not a fan of it, so I do not recommend it for first time users at all. So I always go with Renew shampoo again for dry hair, dry scalp, and then smoothing shampoo or smoothing deep conditioner if they're frizzy. If they're not frizzy, then intense repair conditioner. So everyone gets Renew and IRTC if they're frizzy, then smoothing deep conditioner. I also highly recommend Super Moisture Mask to everyone. I love that. That's my favorite mask. I do have all of them. I think it's good to buy all the products and try them for yourself so you can, speak to them and what works for your hair type. Let other people with different hair types try it so you know what their experience is like. But that's my favorite mask. And then as far as styling products like post-shower, I'll use Restore Leave-In Conditioner, Rejuva Beads. I use a lot of stuff. Let's see, the restructuring, like the serum that came with that system, I'm using now because I straighten my hair still, but I want to keep my curls. So I'll use that every now and then. Now I'm using the mousse for these curls. And I always use thermal heat protectant if I'm using heat. Blowout cream is great, but the thermal heat protectant goes up to a higher heat threshold. I think it's 450 versus 300 degrees Fahrenheit. And Frizz Fix Primer. That's another one of my go-tos. And I just tried air dry cream for the first time today. I like it, but I have only used it once, so I can't really say much about that one.
Have you used the curling cream? Because I feel like it's
for a
lot of people. Like, I don't know when to recommend it because some people
Yeah, so I do not recommend the curl cream for anyone with like my hair type. So Black people, I'll be honest. I do not recommend it. So I gave it to my sister to try it before I ever like really fully transitioned, and she hated it. She was like, I'm going to Target and getting some other curl cream. So so air dry cream works a lot better for that hair type, and everyone that I have recommended air dry cream to loves it.
Perfect. One of the girls, Janeski, wrote, can you send us the question you asked? How many? It was like 3 questions, right? That you said?
Yeah, so it's how often do you wash? And I asked that question because some people only wash like once a week. Other people wash once a month, twice a month. So if they only wash twice a month, then you know that they need as much moisture as possible. So you want to load them up with Renew shampoo, smoothing deep conditioner, Super Moisture Mask, like things that are going to have a lot of moisture. If they're natural and relaxed, because if they're relaxed, you don't want to do Super Nourish, which I don't recommend doing anyway, but yeah. And then if they're frizzy, because then you want to do smoothing deep conditioner with IRTC or instead of IRTC.
So you wouldn't recommend the Super Nourish line to like coarse hair, like thick to coarse hair. That's not the line you would actually recommend.
I do not recommend it because I have used it. So my mom is now using it. I gave it to her for free because I bought it and didn't want it. And she says it's okay, but I feel like the reviews are so mixed on it. I never have an issue with Renew, IRTC, Renew Smoothing Deep Conditioner. Like literally no one ever complains about it. So I always start with that, let them fall in love with the products. And then if they want to try something new, I'll tell them about the new line and they can try it. But only my mom has tried it.
Do you, Jazz, do you mix the conditioners or it's one or the other?
So you can do sometimes, so I do this combination personally too. So you can either do IRTC one day and smoothing deep conditioner a different day, or I'll do like IRTC first, put it everywhere, and then go back on top of it with smoothing.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
When you recommend the IRT conditioner, do you recommend a mask with that? I only ask because when I do the IRT conditioner, it actually makes my hair frizzy. So IRT doesn't work, but I have thin hair, so I don't feel like it's hydrating enough for me. But for you, do you put the mask afterwards, or you don't use?
So I shampoo, then do the mask, and then do the conditioner at the end. So I don't know if that makes a difference, but of course, like all hair types are so different, and everyone responds differently to these products. So it's kind of like you just have to try it and see.
The next question, what would you recommend for natural who protective style, i.e. braids?
Yeah, so people with braids, they can still wash their hair. So my sister, she wears protective styles 24/7, and she likes the Renew shampoo and smoothing deep conditioner. I usually go with smoothing just because it has more moisture for her, and she's not washing it as often because they're not washing it like once a week. They might be doing it every couple of weeks or once a month or something like that. So yeah, Renew shampoo, smoothing deep conditioner, and dry shampoo. Surprisingly, I had never used dry shampoo until I started working this business, but that's another good option to like soak up any extra oil on the braids too.
Do you recommend a styling product for them, or just like the taffy, or
Like if they have like braids, they're not really going to be able to do much with them. If anything, they could do the oil because that'll give it shine, but that's about it.
Okay.
So I have a question. A lot of the natural girls that I come in contact with feel like they have to have a gel, and I noticed that we don't really have an in-stock type of gel on the market. What would you suggest for that? Just an air dry cream?
So honestly, I use a different gel.
Okay, so a lot of girls is me, and
yeah. So that's one thing I tell people is like you can use these products and so that they feel more comfortable. Like I tell them, you don't have to completely cut out everything else that you love, because a lot of people like have a routine that they love. So I just say like, this is to supplement it, or at least like wash with the shampoo and conditioner and then slowly start adding extra products. And so yeah, I'm also not a fan of our OFY gel. It did not even control my baby hairs. So yeah, I do use the mousse, and as far as like the hold, I think that one's really good, but I definitely use a different gel, I'll be honest.
So how much on a scale of 1 to 10 do you hate the curl defining cream? Because I definitely just ordered it this morning.
I personally haven't used it, so I'm just going off of what I have gotten, the feedback I've gotten from my family members, and they did not love it. They preferred the air dry cream. So much so that my sister like literally went and picked up a different curl cream instead of using it. I think.
And are they saying it's because it's too light?
I just think from what she was telling me, it wasn't as defining.
Okay.
So I think it's more for like looser curls, and maybe like Caucasian hair types, like literally looser curls, not our.
Yeah, I use the curling cream too as well. My hair is really curly, and to tell you the truth, I did not like it at all. My hair felt like it was over drying. It didn't curl the hair. It just didn't feel right. So I just went with the air dry cream, and I love it because it's like a loose curl. Like it still curls, but it's still
show your curls.
Not right now. I look crazy.
Diana has really nice curls, by the way. She downplays her hair, but
I mean, I have it up now, but
I kind of feel that way with the mousse, because like I have like my hair used to be really curly, and then with all the hair dyeing that I did and things like that, it dried it out. That was just my hair before, and then now my curls are probably like a little bit like, I think oh shoot, where'd she go? But they were kind of similar, and the mousse kind of really like weighed down my hair, and it felt crunchy, like the Tresemme Dream mousse, like when you put too much in it. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? From like,
that was one thing I was gonna say, is like make sure you're not using too much.
Yeah,
in the beginning I used to use too much product.
Yeah,
like I got really excited with it because I was like, oh, finally a curly product, and then I think I overused it, but then when I used it again, I didn't use as much, and it still felt like weird to me. So I'm gonna try the air dry cream.
Eliana.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
My friend, she uses it, and the first time she used it, she hated it. He comes from being diva curl girl, like he's all into curls, all into that. And what she said she did, she used a little bit of the
mousse
gel, of
Mhm.
the gel and
Okay.
make it with a little bit of water and just shaked it.
Okay.
Then she used it and now she's like, I love it. Like she
Okay.
loves it. So I feel that there's different ways to try the products. The thing is that we need to, try like the mousse for me. That happened to me the first time, what you're mentioning. I
Mhm.
used too much mousse the first time. Now I love the mousse. I put a little bit less and I just like brush my curl, like brush,
Mhm.
brush, brush until basically it just leaves like a natural
Yeah.
look. You should try that as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna try because you know what it is. I have so many curly girls that I want to get into it, but I don't want to. Like, and I feel like a lot. I don't. I just jumped on not too long ago, so I apologize if anybody has said this while we're on the phone. But I want to be able to try all the curly stuff out first, so I can like recommend different things as well as be like, yeah, this worked for me. This might not work for your hairstyle.
Yeah, it's definitely good to get experience with all the products so that you can speak to them, and give an honest. I think people appreciate when you give honest feedback and say, hey, look, I tried this. I didn't love it for these reasons. It might work for you though, because your hair type is different in this way, that sort of thing.
Seleni Rowe, I am planning on letting my natural hair grow in. Can you mention the products for thick and coarse hair again?
Yeah, so Renew shampoo, and then a smoothing deep conditioner if they're frizzy or need more moisture, like they only wash a couple times a month, that sort of thing, or intense repair conditioner. And I always recommend super moisture mask too.
I have one more question. What are your thoughts on the super hydrating line?
So the advanced hydrating line was designed for thin hair, like thin, dry hair. And I tried it once before, like when it first came out. And I think it was fine, but I needed more moisture. And so the other combination worked better for me.
If someone has like thick to coarse hair and they say like their scalp is very dry and it has flakes, would you pick Renew shampoo or the Super Nourish shampoo? Because that's where I get like stuck.
No, I would still pick Renew shampoo. Okay. So like Super Nourish, I can't remember exactly what. I know it's oil cream, but I can't remember like the difference between oil cream and like our oil and Renew shampoo. But I just feel like Renew shampoo is way more moisturizing. I will say that now that my hair, like all my relaxers cut out, I've used the Super Nourish conditioner a couple of times, and I do like that better than the shampoo. Like I'll definitely probably never recommend the shampoo, I'll be honest. But if they have natural hair and they want to try the smoothing or try the Super Nourish conditioner, I would recommend that one over anything.
Awesome. That's it for questions in the chat. Do any of you ladies have any more questions? No? Okay. Jack, are you using our skincare line?
Yeah.
Can we get some before and after pictures and skincare lines too?
So I feel like, I don't know about this. So when I first started using the skincare line, I broke out like so bad. I don't know if that happened to anybody else, but basically I think it's because I wasn't used to using retinol, I guess, is in the Rewind, that serum. And so my skin was not having it. But I do love the skincare line now. And my mom actually just started in the past couple of weeks and she keeps sending me pictures too. So yeah, we need to work on that album overall.
Yes, please.
And then does everyone know about the Facebook group? There's like an ethnic hair / curly hair Facebook group.
Oh, what's it called?
There's a lot of testimonials in there too. Let me find it. It's called Monet Curly and Ethnic Hair Testimonies.
Oh, I found it.
Yeah, so you guys can look in there. There still aren't that many skincare pictures because I was actually looking for some this weekend when we had that sale. But there's a lot of, a lot of recommendations as far as different products and things like that. I will say though, one thing I don't like about it is someone will be like, hey, what do you guys recommend for this hair type? And then someone with Caucasian hair will say like the most random recommendation or like, here's what I love. And I'm just like, guys, please, like, don't use these products.
Yeah.
So then I'll go back in and I'm like, probably try something else. But yeah, so you got to watch out for that stuff. But yeah, it's a good way to get some pictures for sure.
Okay.
I have a question. What about the ladies with dreads? Well, men or guys? I mean, females. That because I did have one that had a question about dreads. Does that also apply with the renew and the smoothing?
No.
My son has dreadlocks, and I wouldn't recommend it just because is the texture of the hair, like the strands have to completely be cleaned. Like it's too thick. I tried it on my son, and it doesn't work. Nothing works on his hair, so I would never recommend it for dreadlocks. Not any of the products. No.
I love the honesty. I don't have any VIPs with dreads, so I'm not sure, but I know someone sent it in the leaders chat this past weekend, and they were saying they just use the oil, so that's a recommendation. But that's all I got for you. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else?
I think that's it. Cool. Thank you so much, Jazz. Like at first I was like, I don't want to bother, but we need this.
No, feel free, and I'm an open book. Obviously, I'll be honest. So if you guys have questions about anything, feel free to reach out anytime.
Yay. Thank you so much, and thank you, ladies, for showing up. Have a good night, everyone.
Jazz. Thank
You're
you
welcome.
so much.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, Jazz.